Party people. This is the admit time for the next 4 minutes. Just admitting people. Upside down and inside out. About to show all you folks what it's all about. You guys remember that song?
Yeah.
I just like you walking the invisible tie right now, Jeremy.
Dude, right here.
I gotta do that. I gotta change my shirt.
Button it all the way up.
Bro, I go all the way up. Wanna know why? It makes me look thinner.
There we
Yep.
It creates an artificial V. What's up, Gary? How you doing?
Good, Jeremy. How's everything with you?
Good to see your pretty face, man. I'm doing great.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I'm doing
Enjoying the nice weather up there?
Yeah, the weather has been really nice, man. It's been like we got through our heat wave like 2 weeks ago. We had 100-degree heat, which we never have, you know what I mean? So it's like 66 right now. It's perfect.
Yeah, we had 106 on Sunday.
Oof. Oof.
What,
We have
what location is that?
Bakersfield, California.
Oh, I mean, my mom's in Portland and it was 112.
Whoa.
That's gnarly.
Yeah, whole Northwest for 3 or 4 days was over 110.
Yeah, we have 100 above 100 for next 10 days on
Wow.
forecast as of right now. Yeah, we went to Lake Tahoe for a weekend and it was nice up there. Coming back, I said, dude, I just want to move over there. I don't want to be here.
Where are you, Gary?
Bakersfield, California.
Where?
Bakersfield.
Oh, Bakersfield. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets hot there anyway.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. What's up with you, Nathan? How you doing?
Good morning, Mr. Forcier. I'm doing well, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. You got any more of those FHA buyers that have overtime income?
I closed it.
Hey, nice
I
job,
closed it.
man. Fight for
Thank you,
what
man.
you want. There you go.
That's right.
That's
It
cool.
was good. It was a good victory for me for sure. So
Doesn't mean we always win, but it's sweet when we do.
that's right. Yep.
Nice.
So happy
That's
about it.
Killer. What's up,
Mhm.
Roger? How you doing? Cross country.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey, how did you get that background? I need that.
Marketing.
Duh. I should have known
I'll
the answer
let
to
you
that.
use it if you want. I can loan it to you.
With your info?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Love it. What's up, Paula? How's that coffee? It's a big old coffee
good.
mug.
Yes, my 1 cup of the day.
Nice. 1 cup. It's like you ever seen that picture of that wine glass? Like I only have
Totally,
one
it's the
cup of wine a
bottle.
day. It's like this, like a gallon.
Yes, that's mine.
Oh, that's cool. How are you doing? It's great chatting with you yesterday.
Yeah, it was. You too. Doing really well today. Good day so far.
Nice. So you guys, if you guys don't know Paula, you should get to know her. She's straight crushing it.
I don't know about that.
No, you are. Don't be humble. She's straight crushing it. And she's so relaxed. It's so nice. I've seen a transformation in her over the last couple months. It's been really, really cool.
Yeah, with your help.
Well, you do the work, not me. I appreciate the shout out, but you did all that. So what's up, Mark?
Going.
Look at that good hair.
Dude, I liked your video this morning. That was great.
Oh man, I listened to someone complain for like 28 minutes last night and it was infecting me. I had to put up the armor all of a sudden. I was like, wait a second, this is negatively affecting me. Like I need to, I gotta be positive here. So that's cool, man. Yeah.
Nice one.
No need to be bitter. Stay on the path. Don't have doubt. That's cool. You doing good, man? Where you at? You in Croatia? You in Napa?
I'm in Napa.
Nice.
Yeah,
Awesome.
man. Yeah, I'm gonna drop by the office on Friday.
Oh, cool, man. Well, I
Yeah.
will be here. Can't wait to see you.
Yeah, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, you can use Jim's office if you want. He's out.
Sweet. Awesome. That'd
He's
be
on
great.
vacation. Awesome. What's up, Daniel Kwan? How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning.
Nice. Like a headset. Where'd you get that?
Ordered it on Amazon. Try to
Nice.
copy yours.
Corsair. That's the jam.
That's right.
Love it. Sounds so good. I just wish it didn't look so bulky in my, that's why I don't wear it in videos, but it sounds so incredible.
It's
What's
good.
up, Machinik? With your picture from high
a long
school.
time ago.
It was incredible. How you doing, man?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Straight killing it, doing well. Karen's hopping on, cool. What's up with you, Falconer?
Learning to be a branch manager is the hard part. I've got the loan thing down, but
Hey, can you say that again so everyone can hear it? Everyone's always like, hey, I want to know from, I'm always like, I laugh. I do this whenever someone tells me that. I'm like, okay, are you sure you want to do it? Oh, you're doing great, man. How are you? Doing well?
really well. Feeling like everything's getting in order at my office and house, setting up the new office, house remodel. Getting done with baseball. I've got my last all-star game as a coach today.
Nice.
So get some time back. I love baseball and kids, but it takes a lot of time.
Yeah, absolutely, man. How's the living in your trailer, remodeling your house going?
It's pretty much done. Like stuff like putting together bar stools and new TVs and stuff like that. We're at the last stage, and it's just like I sat at my new island this morning with a new bar stool and had a cup of coffee. I'm like, it's done. This is just amazing. And there's shit everywhere though still, but it's awesome. I'm pumped.
Killer.
Matt, I'm right there with you. You said you're moving in an office. I'm literally moving. My lease starts tomorrow for my first office, and I agree. I'm sure we're doing the same stuff, trying to coordinate all the moving pieces.
Yeah, it'll go smooth. There's just so many little things that you got to do for compliance, but it's not loan related, but that's what I'm learning and how to be a business owner as well as an originator. And I need to honestly just have time to do both, and that's my challenge.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. So, you guys, I'll get started. It's 9:05. People will keep trickling in, and I'll just let them in. I'll play IT on this side, but we have a super special guest this morning that is going to go over a strategy that he is crushing. And I wanted to have him on selfishly for me and then selflessly for all of you. So, Matt McCormick is a boss. He's a super producer, realtor, team leader, exceptional human being, one of my favorite people that I've met in the last decade. And he's going to walk us through a strategy that we can all implement in our businesses as well. So if you could, number one, just mute yourself while he goes through his presentation. If you have questions, of course, we can answer them at the end, and we can unmute and all that stuff. And then number two is that in the Zoom view in your right hand corner, just change the view to speaker view. That way we can all just focus on him while he walks us through this. So Matt, why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself, where you're at in your business, what your vision is, and then rock and roll on the strategy.
Absolutely. Hey, everybody. Thanks again, Jeremy. This will be fun today. So Jeremy and I obviously started, Jeremy was the man that I met at the core. I've been there now. I'm on my 8th semester. So for me, compared to Jeremy, I'm just beginning. But we had a chance to actually spend some time at one of the summits, and it was like, okay, you're in Petaluma, I'm in the Bay Area, but I'm more than just the Bay Area. And I started to share our business plan, and we just hit it off. I just love this guy. I love him as a speaker and as a person, integrity, all those good things that you guys know about Jeremy. And I thought, we need to start doing business together. And so I shared with him our strategy, and it's unique and different. And I'll just kind of share with you openly before I open the screen and get into it. And it's different. So I have a corporate career. I worked 27 years in Fortune 100 companies, actually sold and bought a company at one time, but I worked at Nestle, at Clorox, at Procter & Gamble. And then I was an executive at Warner Brothers, Time Warner. And I was in charge of all DVDs until my brother, who is a Google engineer, tells me that he's working, when he was at Apple, he was telling me he was working on this new product. And I said, is it the buzz of this? It's something called a pad, some kind of a pad. What are you guys working on? And he couldn't tell me. And sure enough, he was the first engineer on the iPad for Apple. And I said, you know what? I just saw your big launch because you couldn't tell me, but you're going to put your brother out of business in less than 5 years because all of the commercials for iPad are about digital streaming of movies. I'm in charge of all movies for Warner Brothers, and it's all physical DVDs. So guess what? That's not funny. I'm going to be out of a job soon. So sure enough, within 5 years, when your division's goal is a -8%, you're in trouble. And so I knew right then that I thought, okay, this is not good. And instead of staying in the industry, my wife, Kathy, would say, how was your day? And I said, well, we're moving the train each day about that much. And I said, honey, I've been asking you for years for me to go out and do my own thing in real estate, but it's never a good time because every 2 weeks, magically a check would just appear in your account, and you live this lifestyle, and all of a sudden it's hard to leave and go into an all commission business. So eventually she supported it. I made the move 7 years ago, and 7 years this month. And it was the best decision I ever made. I worked for Sotheby's for 7 months. I gathered all the information. I was soaking this industry in I knew nothing about. And then I left to go to Coldwell Banker because Coldwell Banker had offices everywhere, and I wrote a business plan. And you know it's the right thing when you start to write a business plan when you wake up at 1:30 in the morning. And I'm a man of faith, so I feel like God had this plan mapped out in my head. And by 8 in the morning, when my wife got up and said, did you even sleep last night? I said, no, I got up at 1:30, but I wrote this business plan and I'm on page 42 right now, which ended up being 75 pages of what I would do. And all we're doing is we're implementing what we've already written. I wrote this 5.5 years ago. And so what we are doing, you guys, it's a really simple. The elevator speech is very simple. We're building a real estate business like a lender with branches. So what we're doing is we're going to be in 20 counties, 20 teams, from San Diego to Sonoma by 2030, 50 million per county. 50 million per county won't even be in the top 10 per county. So we're just going to stay quietly under the radar. The core is basically going to be our brokerage. In 2 years, in 2023, as a part of the plan, we are breaking away and we will be our own brokerage called The C. And the C, just to let people know, every agent is basically, you pick three words that start with the letter C, whether it's compassion, competent, whatever those C letters would be. That's who you are, and that's how you could describe on the marketing what you're about. For me, my license plate says C Network, and it's been that way now for 5.5 years. And when people ask me, I'm a man of faith, so C stands for Christ. That's who I am. So I feel like I'm a missionary in the field, and I happen to sell real estate. So I spend a lot of my time not really even talking about real estate to the clients. My role on the team, we're now up to 10 people. We will be 92 people within the next 4.5 years. So we're hiring two next month for LA County. We'll have a team lead in every county. We'll have an RP1 to support that and 2 RP2s. In Fresno County and a couple others where the dollars are smaller, we'll have a team of 6. So it'll be a little bit larger. So that's our elevator speech. That's what we're doing. And then as it relates to this workshop today, and let me back up here just a minute. So what we're doing is, and you guys are a big part of this because Jeremy means the world to me. And that's something that's been earned. You know, you spend time with someone over a period of time and you realize, okay, this is my kind of guy. And he was my kind of guy when I met him, but it's just reaffirmed now a few years later. And what do we want to do is we don't want to be one of those agents that has, we've got 20 different agents we're working with and whatnot. No, we want to funnel our business into 2 or 3 options for our clients. That's it. You guys are on that list. So I just want to let you know, like Brian Farwell, who's on here, you know, we know Brian. I'm speaking right now from our Los Altos office, but from our Westlake office, you know, we have instructed with the team to say, let's help get Brian off and running. So our job is to make sure we continue to give Brian more and more business as we move along. So with that said, I'm looking forward to this being something that Jeremy, I'm looking forward to Jeremy doing workshops for our team. So he does it for our team. He's already done 1 or 2 and he knows everyone. So I can lean on Jeremy to say, Jeremy, I want to tap into your strengths here. I need some help. He jumps in and he helps me. So it's almost like having a co-part. And I want to do the same thing for you guys. So let me walk you through why I'm going to talk to you about today. And today is about building a tech strategy. So let me take over the screen if I can.
So Matt, if you don't mind, while you take over the screen, I want everyone on this Zoom to like have a couple takeaways from what he said. First of all, why is Matt, right, having so much success right now? And the answer is unbelievably clear, super clear on his vision and the direction that he's going, and he doesn't have any doubt. So my first takeaway already, which we haven't even got into what he's going to talk about, is that his journey and vision is clarity, right? Having clarity is so important, and not having doubt. Listen, Matt has had 158 bumps in the road already, right? So, but the clarity and the vision that he has moving forward is so important. So think about that today. Like, what kind of clarity and vision do I have? If that's something you want to talk about one-on-one or sidebar, we can talk about it later. We can, but I want that to be a takeaway before he goes into this specific strategy that's going to help us build some business. So thank you, Matt.
Yeah, thank you, Jeremy. Okay, so let's do this, you guys. I've designed the workshop to be around 20 minutes and 10 minutes for questions. What I'm going to do here is that all I'm looking for is for you guys to use, it's like left side brain, right side brain. There's just a different way of looking at this. And this is kind of how I look at every business model and to say, how are we using this tool today? So before we get started on this really quick is that I'm a data person. Data moves me and data tells me, what I'm witnessing more and more every day is that almost to the point where someone says, well, I emailed it to you. And I'm looking at them like, you emailed it to me? Oh, no. Text it to me because this is where I'm at. I'm always moving out and about, and so is our team. So knowing that, I wanted to look into the data, which then once I found the data out, I thought, you know what, this is supporting everything about what I'm seeing today. So that's why I titled this the most powerful prospecting and relationship tool in real estate today. With that being said, so what I want to do is I want to cover 3 things with you. One is to how to creatively use text messaging in a way that builds and enhances and educates the potential of current clients. So if you think about that, what we're doing today is how do you enhance, how do you accelerate a relationship in a business? What we're all trying to do is having warm and hot leads. That's relationship based, not someone who's going to evaluate you because they came across on a Zillow or whatever else. This is someone that you can say, I can use this to help enhance that much quicker. Number 2, most effective tools and apps. I'm going to show you guys some different options that are out there today. One is, and I'll give you a little heads up. So if you wanted to just take your iPhone right now and look into it, this is what I'm going to lead you towards. So I might as well give you a head start. It's right here. It's called Hit 'em Up. It looks like that little megaphone called Hit 'em Up, HITEMUP. That's what we use. There are other ones, but for right now, you can get a head start by looking into it. The third one is creative ideas and targeted messaging on how to communicate your marketing plan in a way that draws them in without abusing their time. Okay. So basically, when people say, oh, what's your CRM and whatnot? I'm using now the CRM. I'm using something like Hit 'em Up because if I have, let's say, for example, a tennis group. I love tennis, right? So if I have a tennis group and I see something while I'm out on a walk, I'm doing something, whatever, and I'm like, this would be good for them to see. I can hit this over to 38 people. That's really, really personal. And they have no idea because it's going into each one of them individually with the same message, and it has that impact. And so think about that as we start to move along. All right. So let me share with you some things to kind of ground you, get your head set on this. A couple icebreakers here, but the first one is trends show less personal time every year. I think we all know it. I deal a lot with the high tech because I'm in the Silicon Valley, but I'm also in Los Angeles. So I go back and forth and see the differences. But what's consistent is the fact that these things, I used to call them devil sticks, right? Because this is the only way today. If somebody rings you on the phone, you have a choice to pick it up. But when you text it, the average time it takes somebody to look at a text is somewhere between 5 and 6 seconds. So they see it, they might not respond, but you got it into their head. It's easy. Texting is very easy. It's the modern day shorthand. And then also managing more time and responsibility. So it's today's business model. You see it, right? Go look at a group of 12-year-olds standing at a bus stop now that COVID's kind of easing up a little bit. And you'll see all 10 or 12 of them standing around each other within 2 or 3 feet, not one of them having a conversation, and they're texting probably each other, or they're looking at something on their phones. Okay, so texting is seconds, everything else is minutes. It's done everywhere, and it allows people to feel like they've accomplished something. There's something about, like for example, I was in a listing meeting yesterday at 5 o'clock. It went 2 hours. It was a good friend of mine, and he works for Apple and stuff down in San Jose. By the time I left, I had 99 text messages. That was a 2-hour span. And I thought, this is crazy at 7 at night. But I went to find out that about 60 of them were the same text thread, just going back and forth. Okay. But that's the reality. This is our world, right? So understand the clients today in regards to texting, right? So here's a fact. Texting is the most frequently used form of communication among Americans younger than 50. It drops off significantly after 50 and is used infrequently at 65 and older. And you'd say, well, that's pretty obvious, right? The generational piece. I'm 56 years old. I am the last year of the baby boomers. I was born in 64. So I have my siblings. I have 2 siblings younger, 2 siblings older. So I have the baby boomers up there, and I have the Gen Y, I think is it Gen Y that's right. And I'm right at the year I could go either way. So I completely know how these 2 generations work, right? What's interesting in the data though is that there really is no significant difference between men and women in the amount of texting by age group. When you really look at this chart carefully, the biggest gap is maybe 4% in one age group. That's it. It's pretty darn close. So just so you know, it's not a female thing, it's not a male thing, it's not, but overall, take a look at the percentages though, in terms of the age groups and how they're using it. So when you see 55 to 65 at 19% or 18 for men, you know, compared to say 31% for 18 to 34, well, that would be expected, okay? And some of the data, by the way, is now outdated. You get a year or 2 out on the data and it's like, it's probably doubled since then. So it only gets stronger. But the tools we have today, you've got mobile, you've got computer, home phone. We all know what those look like. I think the 65 years and older are probably the only generation that still have the home phone. I have to have a home phone because where we live right now, with it being somewhat remote, it's not so great. So I had to go that route and I felt like I was going back to the 70s. So we all know our communication tools today, but it's the data that really moved me. And this is when it starts here. So when they had surveyed these smartphone owners, and again, this data would be even stronger today on how they use their smartphones. 70% are around messaging and phone calls at 62%, and then email, and it starts to drop off. If we had updated data as of 2021, social networking would be way up there. And here's why, because I have family that work there. They look at the mind space, right? And with mind space and time, they are fighting Apple, all the forms of, they want all messages to go through the messenger system through Facebook. They're looking at all those forms. They don't want the text messaging that you have controlled by your Android or your iPhone. They want that to be a system to where you go to Facebook to get all your communication. You go to Instagram to get all your instinct. All of these social medias are all fighting for the same space. So the bottom line is you're going to see social networking grow. You're going to continue to see email decline because other than documents and legal portions of it, it doesn't move the needle fast enough. And so when you look at what they're doing right now and you see this, it just makes all the sense in the world. And then you have to think about now, how am I using it? You're using it to want 2 things. You're either sending something out to get off your plate, or you're also receiving something to keep the communication going. But there's no strategy behind it. And that's why this is a fun workshop. So the first thing for us was a game changer. When I had discovered this Hit 'em Up app over 2 years ago and realized what it was, I started to set up groups in there. And I thought, I'm in the core. Why in the world would I not set up my Monday first week VIPs, Tuesday current clients, right? Wednesday hot leads, Thursday week 1 past clients, and Friday build business and builders. Now, for the second week, I have VIPs week 2 Monday. I have all of these core groups in there, and here's what we do with it. So we don't just use a texting strategy for all the holidays. We do. We use their birthdays, their anniversaries, their favorite sports teams. Like right now, if you're watching the College World Series, I heard a couple people saying they love baseball. Tonight is probably the most exciting college baseball game in about the last 2 decades. You have a best of 3 series. They're both tied each way with 2 of the amazing games, 2 powerhouses. Mississippi State is playing Vanderbilt. And if you wanted to watch a good baseball game, you've got a game on tonight. Well, I've got a baseball group. So guess who's going to get a text message on something that I'm going to see that's going to get them hyped up for the game tonight? So I'm going to send out a message to about 48 people that I played ball with in college and high school and everything else. And they're going to get it, making sure that they don't miss this game tonight. Well, that's a touch point, right? And then that touch point, I'll have all kinds of quick conversation with them via text. I'll probably be watching the game, doing this the whole time because I'm connecting with 48 and engaging with 48 that will be giving me business as we go along. So what we do is we use this as a text strategy. Here's another thing that we do. This is a game changer. If you guys are working with Jeremy, obviously you're disciplined on your calls, right? And when you're disciplined on your calls, you should know right now, being Wednesday, that tomorrow is Thursday. Who's your call and your theme call? Well, for you guys, if your theme call, what is your theme call, Jeremy, for tomorrow, Thursday?
Past clients.
Okay, so you're like us. So you're past clients, and you should have in your calendar who you're calling tomorrow, right? So you have your 12, your 18, whatever your number is for past clients. At 4:30 this morning, 4:30 this afternoon, I have in my calendar to basically text those calls for tomorrow to say simply, let's catch up tomorrow. I'm going to give you a buzz sometime in the morning. It's been a little while. I wanted to update you on what's going on. Whatever I feel at the moment, I want to have on that conversation. Boom, one text. I'll get about 75 to 80% with a quick reply, thumbs up, sounds good. Or don't call me tomorrow, I'm in a meeting. Call me Friday at this time, whatever. I log it and the whole thing. Now, when I make my calls, if I make 18 calls, I get 17 people picking up. I didn't believe in that. And one thing I didn't like about the core was you need all these warm conversations. So why do I have to call 40 people to get 12 people to pick up the phone? Why don't I call 12 people and have 12 people pick up the phone so I can check it off and be done for the day?
So hold on, pause, big takeaway. You guys, sounds kind of familiar. Hopefully it sounds better coming from someone else and not me, but setting the stage for the call, right? That's really what Matt's talking about here, is setting the stage for the call. Like oftentimes we always talk about like, oh gosh, I just feel like it's mind numbing dialing through people and who's going to pick up, who's not. It's a waste of my time. But I've told you before in the past, and if you haven't been on in the past or you're newer to the group or newer to me, setting the stage for the call is important. A handwritten note, I'm going to call you next week. A text, hey, do you got time tomorrow? This is what I want to talk about. Whatever, setting the stage will get your call rate, talk to's way up. So I appreciate you saying that, Matt's huge takeaway. Something I could do better as well, but excellent stuff so far.
Thanks. And I found, Jeremy, and for the team, for you guys, because we all struggle with the distractions, you need to, like, even right now, and some of you are probably texting right now as we speak, because it's like, that's how you keep things going. I would highly recommend that you either write it down and do it after the workshop, or just for 5 minutes. It's a little tiny thin line at 4:30 every day that just says, text tomorrow's clients, or something that triggers you to go, boom, it's there. So when it comes in your calendar, you just go to hit them up, or the app that you want to use. You put something together, you look it over, you go, okay, this is a good message. Boom. You just set up a great day for tomorrow's calls. And then after about the 21st time, 21 days in a row, you've got a good new habit, and here we go, right? And now all of a sudden you go, I've got so much business, I can't even breathe. All right. So these were just ideas that we had as it related to different ways that we use, the holidays, your birthdays, anniversaries. That's nothing new for you guys. But things like traveling through the areas, you could really get strategic about how you do buckets. And it's okay to say, I've got 70 different buckets. That sounds crazy. But if you think about it, it's like when you hit that certain something and you go to those 10 people, it's so intimate that the acceleration of the relationship is what you're looking for. Okay. And then here's the 5-minute rule, right? So the top 3 communication channels that consumers are engaging in with businesses, right? With business. Number 1, email. Number 2, voice. Number 3, SMS. If we had updated data, if I could search to get the updated data, right? It's going to end up being number 3. Number 2 is SMS, and it's going to be towards number 1 pretty soon. These numbers are changing now. We just need to find some data source that can support it. This is what I have. 82% of text messages are read within 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes. So when you go through this, you start to realize, well, I sent the text, maybe they didn't get it. They got it. And if they didn't, you kind of wonder. So I'm just telling
unless it's me, you guys, because I'm psycho about like whatever I'm working on.
Yes. So I want to share with you a text message that I sent a client at Christmas this year. Then I sent another message to the same client at January 1st. Okay, New Year. So I'm going to walk you through this, and then the data behind this message. So the text message they got had a picture of our family. We were in the islands. It said, Jim and Karen, Merry Christmas, having a ball with the girls home for the holidays. Hope you are having a blast with your family. There's a picture of my kids, my girls. And then I said, and then no picture on the second one, Jim and Karen, let's make 2020 a year we benchmark for future decades. Never been this excited starting out a year and looking forward to getting together in 2020. Thank you for your friendship. I cherish it. So he tells you this message was now 2 years ago, right? So in there, in there, I sent those messages, and here's the data. This is what's shocking. I sent this out to 493 people, okay? I got a 72% response rate. I got 8 hot leads from those simple text messages, 36 requests to get together. They had no idea I was auditing it. And then all sincere responses with a few that had provided just a thumbs up or a heart with no words. But many who had not responded to the Christmas text felt guilty and then responded. Now, keep in mind, no one wants to be bothered during the holidays, but how do you say no to those messages? Really? I mean, that's pretty straightforward and sincere. And then kicking off the new year with like the goal setting, right? So that when I look at those percentages, you tell me what email or other forms that you're going to get these kinds of percentages and led to 8 hot leads from me just taking the time when they don't want to be bothered. So I said, look at this. This is the time of the year that you think my response rate should have been 10%. I should have gotten no leads, and I should have had a lot of people saying, listen, talk to me in the new year. Right now, I'm with family. I want to keep work with, but they didn't look at it that way because I didn't position myself as a realtor. I'm their buddy and friend. This is personal for me. Okay. All right. And then this, any questions so far? No, we're good. Okay. And then some key facts that I just think blow you away. There's over 5 billion people texting in the world today, 5 billion, right? 277 million number of texters. Think about this. If you take away people 12 years or younger, that number is something like it's the 98 or 99. Everyone is texting, you guys. So start to think differently about this little tool. 94 is the average number of text messages an American sends and receives every day. 94. Now, again, if I go back and forth with Jeremy and I send him one, he sends one back, and it goes back and forth, that could be considered 10 text messages. He had 5, I had 5, that's 10. But 94 is the average. I bet you it's double that right now today, because now this data is a year or two old. 658 is the number of text messages an American sends and receives per week. It's probably triple that, right? So you guys get the idea. I just wanted to give you an idea. If you want to get a hold of a college student, hour and a half a day on texting alone, probably up to 2 hours. So you want to get a hold of a college student, just text them, right? And then again, nothing's new here. It's just when you see the data behind it, you go, holy smokes. So teens, obviously, we know that the younger generation, some of you on the phone here, obviously, teens' favorite form of communicating. Look at the 6-year trend. So when you look at texting in the 6 years that went from 33 to 35, and we know it's really exploded here over the last couple of years, that number now is going to be pretty dominant because in-person continues to decline. And you've got social media. Now, video chatting, I bet you video chatting is probably over the 25 percentile. Everybody's video chatting now. Social media is exploding. So you've got texting, social media, and video chatting now, but all forms in my book of saying text messaging, right? And then some more facts. I thought this is interesting. The number one text messaging communication amongst millennials, we all know that's absolutely the number one, by far dominant. But it's also the preferred channel for US customer service is number one now. So you'll know when you deal with companies, they want to know your cell phones, if your doctor's appointment, whatever, all the things that would remind you, American Airlines for your flights, they want that access because they know if we text you, you're going to get it. If they emailed you and you said, I didn't know the flight changed. Well, you know it if you get that ding on your phone, right? So just to give you an idea, I love doing these little tests. So right now, since when we started the workshop, I am now up to 30 text messages. So you want to get a hold of me, this is my form now. It's not going to be email. It's my form of text message. So as soon as this workshop's over, where do I go? My text messages, okay? And then here, the number 26, the average response time for a text message, 90 seconds, right? Times faster for the average response time, 6 times. This is key, number 27. 6 times faster for the average response times for a text message over email, 6 times. So if you want to get a response and you sent emails, you got to really look at how you're like, well, you shouldn't be upset if you haven't gotten a response by Friday. Send them a text. Tell them when you first meet them, I'm a texter. I hope you are too. This is how we communicate. If you want me to email on the larger stuff that doesn't need immediate decisions, I got it. But I need your help. We got to be a partner in this. Let's work together. Okay. And then number of text messages after contact. This is pretty, look at this. So by the time you make the 3rd contact on a text, you got them. You've got them. right? It's performance relative to the average conversion rate. Your conversion rate is 328% when you have gone past 3 text messages with them back and forth. So when you start to see that type, people are doing business now. I'm finding it more and more that not just the mobile thing, but it's the FaceTime to look at a property we're showing with clients in Orlando, Florida right now on a 2.8 million in Toluca Lake. And then the follow-up is via text messaging to confirm everything. Everybody trusts each other. You're 95% there, you know, and it's going to continue that way. So what I have here is how to creatively use text messaging in a way that builds and enhances relationships and educates potential or current clients. Okay, so this is really to now I'm going to get into your head. So the first thing is create a text marketing strategy, right? It could be as simple as literally pulling out a calendar, and I'll show you mine here in a little bit, is pulling out a calendar and just saying, let's have a fun Friday. Let's have a something Monday, maybe twice a week. Monday and Friday, we decide as a team we're going to do this, or Tuesday and whatever, or once a week for a while until we get comfortable. And then develop a text communication calendar so you have it all laid out on what you want to do. Then you respond to those leads right away. So use the leads that you have. So what we do typically when we have a lead or we've met with people on Zoom or like you guys have, in the same day, we are required to send them a video text follow-up. And it looks just like this, right? In fact, if I had yours, I'll do it all for you guys. But I'll be like, Jeremy, hey, it's Matt. I just wanted to follow up with you on this morning. There was 2 things that I gathered from the workshop you taught our team. One is how to be more effective with our time. And number 2 was the follow-up second week. That was something that was a game changer. We weren't doing anything after the week 1, but your week 2 steps is what made a huge difference. So I just want to say, listen, sincerely, you've made a huge impact on our business. I want to make sure that you know that you're at the top of our list in terms of loans moving forward. So have a great weekend. Thanks again for the time. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Or if the subject was, it was a listing, I'm going to customize it to the listing, whatever that is. But that's what we're doing now. We're creating good habits with it and we're getting huge responses. I had one recently and I'm like, how can you work? He was just retired. He's only a few years older than I am. And he said that's the first video text he's ever received. And I thought, whoa, first you've ever received? You have 2 kids. I mean, we have grandkids now. Like, whoa, okay. So I'm just thinking, you never know with people and where they're at on that spectrum. But boy, they sure appreciate it when you're looking right in the eyes as if you're standing with them, right? Include photography when appropriate. So obviously the type of photography that moves people, I'm a visual. So when Jeremy talks to me and he's telling me something, I'm actually putting his words in pictures. That's how that's just how I take information in. So I'm a big person for providing a picture because it just adds to the conversation. Include links to articles. You see great articles. Think about it. You're reading an article in the paper. You're like, oh my gosh, everyone needs to see this. I'm a huge I'm kind of passionate about Elon Musk. And so anything that goes on with Tesla or Starlink or SpaceX, I'm just fascinated with a mind that thinks like that. I'll send this off to a group of people under Tesla, right? And then time of day. If you have a level 10 and a level 1, here's what it looks like. Level 1 is I just met you. You're a business person. I don't know that much about you. I'm trying to get an all about you form done. I don't really know you, but it's strictly business. That's a 1. A level 10 is someone like Jeremy. If he's in the area, I want him over for dinner. I want to know he can stay the night. We can do whatever he wants while the time he's in the area that I live. That's a level 10. Those are people you could text from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. They'll look at it the next day. They'll let you know, but they're not going to get offended. Level 1, keep it to business hours. You know, I had one that I thought was closer to a level 10, maybe a level 7. I sent him a message at 7:30. He quickly came back and said, hey, Matt, hey, just so you know, I'm not going to respond to this until the morning and would really appreciate that any form of texting is during the workday. Great. He gave me the guidelines and I said, you got it. So you have to get comfortable with who your level 10s and level 1s are, right? And the differences. And then understand the details about your all about you form. We use the all about you form. So I know I've got 17 people that like the same restaurant, right? So I'm going to make sure that those 17 are in my Hit 'em Up app with the restaurant name on there. So if you think about it, you can take this to a whole nother level on how you take the all about you information and then customize that in your database for Hit 'em Up or whatever you're using. And then when you're sending messages, it's right to what their interests are. And they have no idea that you sent it to 17 other of the 18 people you sent it to, right? And then put 80% of your effort in texting towards targeted towards your VIP pyramid. At the end of the day, you only have so much time. You don't want to be everything to everyone, but that VIP pyramid should absolutely be where you're touching them in between your calls, right? And don't allow for more than 30 days to go by without a text communication. It should be in your calendar. And then you guys are stepping it up better than anybody else you're competing with, right? So the next one is these are some examples of how people are using the tools regarding texting. Hit 'em up app, WhatsApp is another one, Chomps, Viber. There's a bunch of new ones. They're coming out all the time. So this list is probably old. I should probably go back in and say, what are the last ones in the last 4 months that these text apps that are coming out that have all of these offerings? And there's so many companies right now that are building these apps right now. So would love to know if you guys have any other suggestions on stuff that I'm missing. I'll add it to this list. Okay. And then we're almost done here. And then WhatsApp texting. Look at WhatsApp when WhatsApp came into the business in 2010, 11. Look at what that growth has been like. I mean, you know, so that's to 2018. There's no stopping that. It's basically saying this is how we're all going to be operating here, and we're pretty much operating there now. And then creative ideas about targeting messaging on how to communicate your marketing plan in a way that draws them in and it does without abusing their time, right? So one is providing new tools or approaches to the business. I think that's one great way to, you give someone in the business world a great way to say, hey, if you guys use CRMs, have you guys checked this out or whatever, and you have a link to it or a new tool. Everyone's always looking for new ways, especially in real estate. Market trends. Everybody loves to see a little graph now of market trends, like for you guys, interest rates, right? You just go ahead and text people out. Here's the latest for the week, and you've got it really efficient. So they're looking forward to it every week or month. People of business highlight. If Jeremy has somebody that's a highlight of the month, he puts it out there and you're just like, hey, congratulate such and such. You could do that. I love the thought you should know points. I love trivial things, facts. Did you know, that type of stuff? I'm like, I had no clue about that. And then keep everything to less than 60-second read. Don't just to the point, entertain them. Texting can be really good if you mix it in with entertaining, tell stories, whatever. And then recommendations on effectively using text as a strategic tool. And I had mentioned about level 10 is just daily business hours, whenever, within the days. And then level 1 is you add the holidays, you add all kinds of things. I'm sorry, reverse that. Level 10 is whenever you want. Level 1 is just like holidays, to keep it, structured so they don't think you're abusing that. But as you build that relationship and they become a 10, you're going to be able to text them more and more. So what I had for here was, can you provide 1 or 2 or 3 things that you would do to enhance your texting effectiveness? So I'd like to open this up to everyone right now and say, did a lot of talking, went through this. What is one thing that's on top of your mind now that maybe you're looking at the way you're using texting a little differently and what you're going to do to enhance your effectiveness?
So Matt, thank you a million. So you guys can unmute yourselves, obviously. Also, I have 2 questions that I want to address here that you can answer. So the first one was from Brian. He said, with email, I can decide what to reply to right away and if something can wait. I keep it in my inbox as a to-do list. I have yet to figure out how to do this with texting. Once I review the text, the red alert goes away. So the little alert, the red button thing goes away, and I run the risk of the text getting buried. How do you keep some of the text top of mind if you want to reply later?
Great question. I can tell you how I do it. Every Sunday night, I prepare for the next week. And then usually Wednesday during the middle of the week, I literally sit early morning. I'm an early morning guy, and I will actually comb through and see the names, and I will remember, oh shoot, I had this going and I didn't get closure with Jeremy. I'll write it down. And it's old fashioned. I'll write a bunch of names and I know exactly what they are. And then I transition to what I have, a Go Be Mighty form, which is a daily, it's kind of my daily task list for the day. 3 big rocks are on it, all that stuff. So in there, that's when I make sure that I get back to them. But I have Sunday and Wednesday to go through. That's old fashioned, but I haven't figured out a tool in texting that allows me to put it in some form of a folder or a reminder so that it doesn't get lost. So that's not a great way, but that's how I do it.
So I'd like to speak to this too. So it's my pet peeve. Okay. My pet peeve with text is that there is no tasking system integrated yet on like how to add it to follow up. I hate it. I want to create the app because I think that it's necessary, right? On how to organize and follow up. So what I wanted to point out though is that, as Matt just shared, always being transparent, nothing is ever going to be 100% foolproof, right? He's going to miss stuff. He's going to have to go through, and what he did is he shared with you his safety net. His safety net is picking out times to go through and just relook at things, right? So I do that as well. Like I will, like this last weekend, I went through and I was like, oh, is there anything important that I missed during the week, right? Like via text that wasn't closure on. And I do something super similar. I'll either jot it down, I'll put it into my task list, or I'll just respond at that time. Like, hey, we didn't close the loop on this, et cetera, et cetera. So setting aside time to review is important. Go ahead.
Jeremy?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so I do the same thing. The only thing I do is if there's some text that I want to respond back later on, I'll take a picture and send it to my email.
Okay.
So it's in my email until I clear it. Now it's tasked.
And I actually, my current system, it's not a great one, but I just take a screenshot on my phone, and I actually go look at my photos on my phone almost daily, and I see screenshots. It's the bandaged way to do it right now. I just didn't know if there was an app or some system I was unaware of. So it sounds like everyone's figuring out a way to do it until Jeremy develops his app.
I'm gonna develop the damn app.
It might be, it might be too late. I just texted that idea to my brother who's going to develop it next.
You're an
week.
asshole. I want some credit on that because I want to get paid. So
I used to jump on my text messages like every second of the day, and then Jeremy told me not to. And if you leave them unread, then you can just go back through and deal with the ones that are unread. And I thought that's fantastic, and it worked for like 7 days, and now I have consistently around 72 to 100 unread messages.
All right, well, let's talk about this though for a second. This is important, okay? Context is important, and I know I can't see you guys because we're looking at the provide 3 things screen. A number of you rolled your eyes, and that's great, because when you roll your eyes, that means that I've said it enough that it's making sense. Context is so important. I say it all the time. Context, context, context. Not all messages need to be responded to. It's just a fact. Okay, not all messages need to be responded to. Number 2 is that I do think it's really important to have times that you respond to things. Always being available is not a good business plan, period. It just isn't, right? So maybe that's once an hour, maybe that's 5 minutes. Like I try to look at my text messages in between appointments, right? And then I have to decide like what is going to take 1 minute or less to respond and handle versus what is going to be something I have to put into a process, right? And then the third is, do I even need to do anything with this? No is the answer a lot of times. So don't be freaked out by the unread text messages. I think that I have 792 unread text messages right now, but that's not really true. Okay. Like a lot of it is BS. A lot of it is nothing that needed responded to. It was like, hey, I'll see you later or whatever. Like, I don't feel like I need to go in and respond to the responses on stuff that doesn't need attention. Now I will go through once a month and I clear everything out. Right. So I'll go through once a month and clear everything out and make sure that it's all 100% done, good to go, handled, nothing, and I'll start from fresh. But context is important when you're talking about this text strategy. So don't think that you need to, respond to every single thing. We had a question from Blaney on, this is an easy one. So cool. Good question. How do you make sure one text not show to the other recipient? So like on a group text. So there's apps. Matt uses Hit 'em Up is what he recommended, but there's a whole bunch of different apps that were on that slide that when you send a mass text, it'll only go to that one individual. So it doesn't show on like a giant group text. Okay. I'm old school. Like last Monday or 2 Mondays ago, I don't remember, whenever I was on an airplane, Matt was a recipient of one of these texts. Like I text the 60 agent partners, right, that I work with, a article, right? I was on an airplane, you guys, and all I did was copy and paste the text, and I had my list with me because we're all supposed to have a list. Had my list with me, and I text them individually, right? Interesting read, good info for buyers. Let me know if I can be of assistance today. And it was just a text from Bloomberg Business Week. Matt referenced this in his presentation. Find things that are of interest or of importance, right? And it's about how real estate prices are soaring, and it's not a bubble. So, and then he thought I used Hit 'em Up app. So he texted me back, hit 'em up app, question mark, love it. Right? No, it actually wasn't. It was a archaic hit 'em up app, but don't overthink it is my point. Whether you use hit 'em up app or WhatsApp or SMS magic or whatever you're using, or if you're just copy and pasting it and you have a list, the strategy is just in the execution. So great question.
A quick question.
Yeah.
Do either of you or anybody have a simple script for when you don't get a reply from a text without looking to be desperate or bothersome to the person?
So can you give a little more context? Like what are you?
Mostly these are to realtors who are sort of B-list realtors who I'm trying to get out of the friend zone, and I'll send them a text saying, hey, looking to connect, can't wait to see you again, blank, 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 something just engaging. And I get a really high reply for these, but the ones that don't reply, I'm like, I don't want to sound desperate and chase them around more, but I really want to get a reply.
Yeah, I can tell you for me, what I do is I do too nice and then I come in a question mark. It's just my nature, my personality. So I will follow up and just say the second message will be something like, hey, just checking to see if you received my message sent earlier. That's it, just nothing else. And if I don't get a response after that, I put a question mark. Now they are going to feel guilty. So now the character, the integrity, what kind of person are you? How are you treating me? Are you respecting my role? And I'm willing to say, okay, I see where this is going. I'm moving off. So, I mean, that's not the right way to do it. It's just, this is my personality and I move off. So I know I'm supposed to stay with it 7 times and this and that, but I don't want to, but then usually by the time I put a question mark, there's oh man, I'm so sorry. We just got back I was on a 3-day vacation, didn't have a chance or whatever. So I'll do the question mark. If I come back a week or 2 later, I might just go, okay, I'm going to send another message and start it from scratch. And now it's been the 4th message. And then after a while, you just have to realize, at least I do. Then I just say, okay, I've touched base 5 or 6 times now, and I'll give them maybe a phone call. If they don't pick up, I'm done. I'm moving off.
Yeah. So
I've used
go ahead, Matt.
I've used 2 scripts. One of them is just like a video text. For some reason, everybody watches a video. Like if somebody sends me a video, I'm watching it. So I just record something on my iPhone. That seems to, get something. And then the other one is I usually say something like, hey, I'm super old school and I know it's kind of nerdy, but I do like to send handwritten thank you cards and a little gift. Can you do me a favor and text me your mailing address? And I don't know why, but that one gets a lot of play. Like I get a response, even if the agent's typically been ghosting me.
Cool. So I'm going to add 2 things to this and I want you guys to write this down. Okay. Number 1, don't be so sensitive. Don't be so sensitive. Okay. Number 2, don't take things personal. And number 3, do whatever you want. So when I say the first one is don't be so sensitive, like, and maybe this is my personality trait. If someone doesn't respond to me, I don't give 2 shits. Okay. Like it's just like, it's like, okay, they didn't respond to me. Like, which goes into number 2, don't take things personally, is that it's not a personal attack if someone doesn't respond to you. Like it's not a personal attack on you, right? Like I just don't take things personally. And number 3 is keep doing what you want. If I want to be in that relationship, it's up to me to pursue that relationship. It's up to me. And it's up to me to decide how long I want to pursue it for or how I pursue it. So I wouldn't overthink it. Don't be sensitive. Don't take it personal when people don't respond. People are busy. You're probably not a priority to them. These are all realities that we need to accept, right? Because when we're talking about the game of winning a meeting, winning a relationship, winning a client, winning is brutal. Winning is dark. Winning is not loyal. Winning is oftentimes cutthroat. So don't take it personal when someone doesn't respond to you. If you want something really bad, it's going to be up to you to keep going after it. So that's just my 2 cents on it.
I'm glad you brought up the topic of winning because I honestly don't care too much about much of it personally, but I see it as a challenge and I want to then win their business. And I'm going, okay, how am I going to get this? So it's sort of, I usually say something like yes, no, or maybe are all appropriate answers. Let me know which one you're leaning towards.
Cool. So
And
that's good too. So that's a hard close, right? So for me, naturally, that's how I think, and I've learned to soften that, right? So
yeah,
naturally, I'm a punch someone in the throat. like, wow, naturally, that's how I am. And I want to move on and I want to move quick and I want to do all that. So I use fun as my softener, right? So sometimes when I'm not getting what I want back for something, I will default back to fun now instead of like a chop in the throat, right? So a fun follow-up text example would be like, hey man, I know that I'm low on the totem pole and I am probably super not important to you and you don't ever think about me, right? So here's a picture of me like wearing a crab suit. I hope it brings you a laugh today. Like something super stupid and off the cuff, show some vulnerability, show some personality, and softens the blow of you actually wanting to choke the person for not getting back to you. So find some fun. Find some fun in the ways that you're doing things. Hey, Matt, you had asked provide 3 things that will do to enhance our texting effectiveness. For me, my number 1 was get the app. So I already got it. I downloaded it. That was for me. What about you guys?
A takeaway I had today was just, I know it wasn't actually the point of this whole call, but Matt mentioned all about UForm, and it's something that I've been sitting on the sidelines with, and hearing that Jeremy uses it and Matt uses it, and you're both crushing your industries. It's an easy thing to start building personal relationships with clients.
Yeah, 100%.
So I just sent an email to marketing to get an all about UForm.
There you go.
Nice.
My
Sweet.
business plan is 2 pages, and if yours is 75, I think I have room for growth on that one.
Yeah. I love it.
So I believe that All About You form is in the Total Expert where you can just download it.
Yes. Yep. True story.
I honestly just need to get over my aversion to using text in the first place because I'm one of those people that absolutely hates it. I get text messages and I feel overwhelmed to answer them all because there's so many in there, I don't even know where to start. So I just need to develop a system for following up because I feel like I'm letting people down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I would just say to this, Blaney, and that is, you shouldn't feel bad about feeling that way, but you have to understand that the world is going that way. So you're either going to be on board or you're not. And that's how you just have to figure out a way to embrace it.
Yeah, I do. And it's more for me, it's more about the organization of it and feeling like things are slipping through the cracks because I have a question for you on this Hit 'em Up app. Can the whole team see it? Like if I assign other people to see it, can they see it or is it only coming to my phone?
There's another level pro, I think, on that. You pay a little bit more on it. And I think that might be where they offer that situation. So not the standard, but the higher level. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, hey, Blaney, don't feel overwhelmed with it though. So remember, it's just blocking and tackling. Like, I'm not the biggest text message fan either. I am in boxes, right? In lanes. Like I don't mind it, but the way that I use it is that I already have a process and system that works really good. How do I add this into it is how I think about it. So how I add it into it would be like, and I've shared this, if I'm being redundant, it's fine. But I think I've shared this in the past with the group. Like if someone texts me, I don't like to get into long conversations in text. It's awful. It's literally the worst thing, just so you know. Even if you like text, it's awful. Like you lose a little content. Like it's great with like personal friends or you're in a good relationship, but with customers, man, it's just not, it's not great. But it is a great way to, if someone has like a question, like here, I'll use who's this lady, Melanie from yesterday. She's a crazy texter, right? Like she sent me this long text about like these questions she had, right? And all I did was text her back, hey, great. How about we hop on the phone at 2 p.m. I'll put it in my calendar. Let me know if that works for you, right? That's a process. I still text that to her and she said, sounds great, right? And so finding how you can integrate it into your current process, for me, process equals appointments, right? Process equals appointments. So if my brain says process equals appointments, I'm looking at text is awesome because I can schedule appointments faster. And then you brainwash yourself, right? Text is awesome. I can schedule appointments faster. So that's why I keep saying context is important. If it's something that requires dialogue that's not a quick answer, it's to schedule an appointment. So I look as text as like my scheduling assistant, right? Like scheduling assistant. So just change the way that you think about it. It doesn't mean you have to live in it, that you have to look at it every second, because you'd get nothing done during the day, right? We have a really important job, you guys. Like being in loans, listen, is really hard, right? It's really, really hard. It's just a fact. Now, it's also really freaking awesome. So awesome is greater than hard. So we need to learn how can we get the hard work done that takes time, analysis, all that stuff that we have to do. And I know that clients don't realize this, right? But a lot of work goes into making sure you're presenting correct information. But so we have to learn how to use the text to schedule an appointment so we can go over the information with them and get it to them appropriately, right? So think about it just a little bit differently. Like this is just a scheduling for clients, that is. This is a scheduling mechanism. And then you'll think about it differently as far as like how you interact with it.
Good. All right, let's do it. A couple more things. One is there was a picture I saw of this, and I'm a visual. When I saw this, I thought this is absolutely our future as realtors. And that is, and I think our model is pretty efficient because we Zoom 600 miles away. So our team is of 10 now and growing, is that I don't think there's hardly anyone that's within a 35-mile radius of each other. And so we realize that this is the future, and getting smarter with targeted texting. So I look at somebody who probably just left an appointment. She's got a little laptop there, the whole thing, and she's doing a quick little download texting, keeping the day going before she gets up and goes away. That picture to me tells me that that would be something that I would visualize as a very productive agent out doing what they need to be doing each day and crushing it. Okay. And then here was the calendar. I just had something I shared with you for December. This is December of 2019. So you can see I've been doing this now a little while. So Monday, personal text, something personal, wherever I feel like going, wherever the heart is. Fun Friday text on a regular basis on who that is. And then I had Christmas text and appreciation, as you see there. And then also have the 31st and the 1st. So you've got three text messages around the holidays, and then you have every Monday and every Friday. So the touch points in December alone, that's a strategy right there, right? There's something in the calendar that I'm going out and I'm touching people along the way, enhancing their relationships. Okay.
Love it.
And then here, thank you for your time today. So this is one that I just was going to ask if you guys could take out your phone and you guys can text me at this number, 818-640-2436. And let me know if you would rank what I just walked you through as a 1 or a 10, that it created many thoughts and new ideas on how you look at texting, or it's a 5 or a 4, and any suggestions that we could improve this workshop on. Because my objective was to have you think differently about texting, and then where you take it from there is just going to be the effort and the work that you put forth. So thank you guys for this workshop today. I really appreciate it. I love your team.
Matt, thank you. So something to know here is little known fact for Matt. Okay. So first of all, Matt's dad was Mike McCormick, who is a pitcher for the Giants. He was a southpaw, the first pitcher to win the Cy Young Award, right? And he has his own card. Matt, have you ever seen, oh, you can't see it through here. Hold on, let me get my background off. Hold on. Integrated camera, battery background. Have you ever seen this deck of cards with your dad on it?
No, not playing cards. No.
Yeah, so there's a deck of playing cards. I just spoiled I'm horrible at like keeping things surprised and secret. I found these cards. I'm going to send you some. It's called the Hero Decks of the San Francisco Giants. And I went through it, and sure enough, Jack of clubs is Mike McCormick, Cy Young Award pitcher. But you guys, the reason I'm sharing this with you live too is that this is where All About You form really does come into play, and knowing stuff about people. Like I know this stuff about Matt. Right. I know that he loves baseball. I know that his dad was a pitcher for the Giants. I know what he's trying to build. I get all that stuff, and then you can gift appropriately. Okay. So I know oftentimes you all ask me about gifting because I love gifting, and you're like, oh, it sounds like you spend so much money. You guys, this is $2.99. okay, for a whole deck of cards. So finding things like that is going to bring a smile to his face when he sees it, and to see his dad, who is already a legend with Bruce Bochy and Bumgard and Barry Bonds and all these Stan Musial, all these people over the years, is going to bring a smile to his face. So go out today, take this information, use it to your benefit, and make someone smile. I really appreciate all you guys being on here today.
Awesome. Thanks, you guys.
All right, have a great day,
Yeah.
everyone.
Have a great day.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks.